Yeah. Paths of Glory to me is the only important political film. Maybe like 10 Minutes of the Candidate with Robert Redford and Paths of Glory. That's it. As long as you understand Paths of Glory, you understand politics anywhere on the face of the earth. And you want to talk about, Paths of Glory is about the hell of middle management in an institution or in any culture. You're with Kirk Douglas. He is your point of view. He is an honorable colonel in the French army in one of the great anti-human disasters that sort of opened the century, which would be World War I. As inhumane a political endeavor as has ever been conceived. And he is on the French front, and he is, his men make as gallant a charge against entrenched German positions as you can make. It displeases the ambitious generals, and they seek to, at random, pick 3 French soldiers to shoot at a firing squad to make an example to the entire division because they failed to take the German position. And he tries to defend these 3 soldiers. Its allegiance, even at that early point, even at that early moment in the Cold War, maybe not so early, but at that midpoint in the Cold War, was with middle management and with labor. It's with the soldiers and it's with the colonel that understands their humanity. It is not with Adolphe Menjou and Georges Macready, who are the great, obnoxious, ambitious French generals. If you go through every single season of The Wire, and before watching the season, you rewatch Paths of Glory, you'll be able to pick out, Rawls and Valchek, George Macready and Adolphe Menjou. Whiting and Klebanow, the editors, George Macready and Adolphe Menjou. It is, it's not that everybody is stock, but it is that everybody has the interests of the institution at that level. They do not have human interests. And that, politically, I just think that's the problem with this modern world and with this sort of money-obsessed oligarchy that we call the United States of America. And so that is the critique. And in between, some cool stuff happens, and people shoot this guy, and this car blows up, and you get to see some of the actors naked and some of the actresses naked, and they tell funny jokes, and this line is pretty, this line gets repeated. Everything else is flesh on the bones, but the skeleton is the Greek plays, and Greek plays thematically and filmically. It's Paths of Glory. I guess I want to go to, since we're doing this season, I guess we'll do a little about journalism. How many people here are journalism majors? Or communications majors, I should say. Wow. They're bailing out of the college as fast as they can. When you first enrolled, how many there were you? Several hundred? Yeah. Going over to business school. How many? Yeah. Well, how many are law students? Oh my God! I got to talk about the law. Bad. World full of lawyers. Well, I sort of planned to look at a few scenes about the journalism. So we couldn't possibly regroup now and do something different. So we'll just go through we'll motor through the journalism, and then if you have questions about law on the show, we'll do that. This first scene begins.
If they don't get enough of those, they'll go right to layoffs. Watch.
You can't. You got all the seniority in the world.
Be ashamed if they have to get rid of all them 20-somethings in the newsroom.
Degenerate motherfucker.
Yeah. Cleveland showed you have to hire them sweet young things, don't you? 23, 4 years old, model thin, long straight hair, and big traffic light eyes.
And half of them can't write a lick, can they?
They are esteemed managing editor. Certainly does favor certain type, don't you? Gentlemen, question mark. Someday, I want to find out what it feels like to work for a real newspaper. What? I've got calls up. You start writing now, and I'm not here 10 o'clock tonight. Reworking your leave.
Reworking my leave.
Come on, let's try to make the EDOT deadline for once in your life. Hey, Matt, for the council meeting?
Yeah. I'll top it with whatever smells fresh. Make the double dump.
They're gonna vote on homeless ordinance, right?
Maybe not. Maurice is making noises like she might throw it back to committee.
Yeah, well, find me some news somewhere.
Something's burning.
You, wonder what it might be?
I'm not a police reporter.
What you call Twitter, though, right? He's a colonist. He's paid to sit on his ass. What's your excuse? Just left him in the smoking lounge, hit him myself. What kind of people stand around watching a fight? Some shameful shit right here. Where else would you rather be, huh, kids?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jay. The AP's got something on more cutbacks at city bus runs.
You don't say. Daily Record had it this morning. MTA trial blow. State desk is covered.
Daily Record. All right, people, it's 2 o'clock. I need budget lines in case anybody's threatening to commit an act of daily journalism. City desk thanks. You didn't, huh? Well, what the fuck we supposed to do for Sunday, sorry? Great, wonderful. Photo didn't get off for the racetrack piece.
What about art for the Hopkins press conference? Can we get that?
Scratched it for racetrack. Hey, Swag, it's me. The sun's on fire over in his ballroom. Surprised me with a nice pretty picture, huh?
Look,
Okay.
what we have is drug violence, and plenty of it. What you have are federal gun statutes that come.
So, I thought that scene went on, but actually it was broken up. But this was the first time we were introduced to this new, having beaten up on various other worlds, we now turned our attention to the Baltimore Sun, my alma mater, Diane's alma mater, which is an institution I actually, although you would think not, I actually love it. And I'm heartbroken over what's happened. When I was there, when I first got there, there were 500 reporters, an evening edition, zoned editions. They were, and at some point, they had all those reporters to chase out the competition. They killed off the Hearst paper, the afternoon paper, then closed the Evening Sun, having used it to kill off the Hearst paper. They had zoned editions in all the counties with separate staffs, which they were trying to kill out the little county papers and take their ad base. When they failed to do that, they bought the county papers, as many of them as they could. And once they had a monopoly, they knocked it down to 400 people while I was there. I was one of the people who left on the way to it becoming 400. Now it's 300. We were owned by the LA Times when they took it from 5 to 4. And then the Times was bought out by the Chicago Tribune, the devil itself, when we were at about the time that I decided to leave. And now it's now under 300. So the title of this first episode was More with Less, which is the mantra that you keep hearing as our press is eviscerated. Pardon? Oh, you have it locked up? Let me see it. I'm not sure we're at the right place. But let's see what happens. So I'd rather talk about it all together.
Gutierrez.